Hi, and welcome to what I read in the month of June. Excuse my appearance. I never introduced this video, so I figured I would say, hey, welcome to the video. Enjoy. I think I read 5 books this month. I talk about a lot of books this month, so I'll see you with the first book. Yes, I have finally read Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I just finished it like 2 minutes ago. I had to pee, but I'm back and now I have to tell you my thoughts and my feelings because so many people want to know. Okay, can I give a little like backstory really fast? So I actually have it, hold on. I read this monster in 2021 and if you've seen my yearly wrap up, you know that I was not the biggest fan of this book, and it's so famous and it's so loved, and it just wasn't a hit for me. I personally just didn't care for it, okay? That's just my opinion, okay? Sorry, it's my opinion. But I decided to go ahead and give Ugly Love a chance because this one seems like the one that everybody really enjoys. I'm not gonna go too ham into what the story is about because I feel like a lot of people have read it or a lot of people know what it's about. It's about this girl named Tate, and she's moving in with her brother, and she like sees this random guy like at her doorstep, just like super drunk, like super emotional, and she's like, oh, what is going on? And later she finds out his name is Miles, and Tate is like instantly attracted to him, but he's very closed off. Soon their relationship just kind of turns into plainly sexual. Miles gives her 2 rules that she can't break, which are 1, don't ask about his past, and 2, don't expect a future together. You go through their relationship, and then you also go 6 years earlier into what happened with Miles' past, and I liked it. I'm glad I liked this one way better than It Ends With Us because I can see why people really like this. I was like up at 1 a.m. last night, like halfway through the book, and being like, wow, I actually genuinely, I totally get it now because the way she hooks a reader in is insane. Like the first, can I read you like the first sentence? Like it says, someone stabbed you in the neck, young lady. My eyes widened and I slowly turned toward the elderly gentleman standing at my side. He presses the up button on the elevator and faces me. He smiles and points to my neck. Your birthmark? He says. Literally that whole chapter is just enthralling you into this story, and you're like, oh, it's very fast-paced. It's not slow whatsoever. I thought this was a very fast-paced book, very entertaining story. I didn't cry from it. I know a lot of people have very strong emotions. I didn't cry, but it is very sad, and it's very, you feel a lot of things throughout the story. Some things I'm gonna say that I didn't really like, which I almost ranked this a 5-star until I started thinking about this one thing. And maybe it's not that big of a deal to some of you, but to me, I've noticed this so far in Colleen Hoover's books, and I don't really like it, so I'm gonna rant about it like really fast. It's talking about how Miles is being very closed off, and he's basically saying that he just wants sex. He doesn't want to love her. He can't promise to love her. He can't promise a future with her. Like, he is just wanting a purely sex relationship. And Tate's over here like, I can change him. I can change him. She's like every typical pick-me girl. I mean, I guess at the end she actually did in some sense change him, but like she is that very very typical, I know he's telling me he just wants sex, but I can fix that. He has emotions. He told me something about his past one time, and that was groundbreaking. I can do it. I don't understand. So far in the 2 books that I've read from Colleen Hoover, the main female character, I can't ever relate to because it feels like their decisions are so stupid. Maybe that's just the feminist talking in me, but like their decisions that they make, I can't relate to. I mean, obviously I've never been in that situation before, and I think everyone's situation is different, but it's also low-key, like this is low-key giving off very toxic relationship, toxic advice to give. Is just to keep going with the man and see if you can change them. Like, that shouldn't be the thing. They should be working out their own issues and their own things before getting into a relationship with you. You should not be trying to figure out their problems, their issues, their whatever. They should be doing that on their own, and if they're not ready for a relationship, they're just not ready, and you shouldn't be the one trying to break through and get to that. That's just a whole lot of mess that I don't think she has to deal with. I mean, she's a freaking nursing student and she works at the hospital. I wouldn't want to have to freaking deal with his issues when he doesn't even know what the he's doing. I know she was trying to, like, to get to know him and, like, know him better and try to break something in him. Like, I get it, but the way that it was at some points was just so toxic and just so, it was so bad. It was like, most of the things he did in this story, I would have not stayed with him. I'm looking at him like, sir, I know you've been through a lot, but you can't do that. I mean, he was very straight up, but she just made some stupid, I mean, at least she was self-aware. I mean, in the story, hold on, I wish I could tab this, it's a library book. But like in the story, she's like, I'm a fool, but I'm a fool who's aware. I'm aware that I'm a fool or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you are, you're stupid, bitch. Get over him. Like, I just didn't understand. I don't understand. I did enjoy this book though. I sound like I didn't. That's the only part I didn't enjoy, was in some points it felt, it's very toxic. And I know that's maybe like ugly love, like maybe that's like the point. But I felt like it was toxic in a way that the main girl was being expecting. I don't know how to feel about this at this point. I don't know. To me, it was good. It's not great. I get this.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm popping in really quick because I explained this very thoroughly, but I feel like I wanted to add one more thing. It felt like she was romanticizing toxic relationships, and I felt like that in both of the stories, in Ugly Love and It Ends With Us. I felt like how the relationship started, how they continued, was very toxic, and it felt like it was being romanticized, that these are okay relationships to have when they are absolutely not. And maybe that's the whole point of the story, Ugly Love. I don't think it's a good message to send, but let me know in the comments below if you disagree or if you have any other opinions. I would love to hear them. Let's have a conversation about it, because I don't know, I feel conflicted about this book, because I did enjoy it, but there were parts where I was like, this ain't it. So let me know what you think.
I did enjoy this though. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. Okay, so this is the first book that I read in June, and let's see what else I got to. Okay, so last night I finished Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer, and oh my gosh, this was such a surprise. I went to the library and I was like, you know what? I've heard about this book. I don't know what it's about, but I've heard about it on TikTok, and someone was basically being like, you need to read this book, and I was like, okay, stop yelling at me, I will. So I got it. And I'm really glad I did. This is a story about the kingdom of Candela, which sounds like Candela's, a Mexican restaurant. Okay, anyways. There is like this plague that sweeps through, and it's like a fever, and it just kills a ton of these people. And the only thing that helps subdue the fever are these things called moonflower petals. And you like make them into like a tea, and you drink it, and you're like, you're good, okay, cool. The thing is, these moonflower petals are very expensive, and the poor / lower class can't really afford them. So Tessa and her best friend Wes decide to take these moonflower petals and steal them from the rich and give them to the poor, so their population isn't dying out. So one day there's a rumor going around that the moonflower petals aren't working, and Tessa and her friends have to kind of figure out what's going on, because she is also an apothecary, so she's going to go and figure out what's going on while trying to stay out of the king and prince's ways. So it's a very good story. I hope I explained that well enough. This was so good to me that even I'm going to insert a clip of me just destroyed at one part, so I'll insert that now. I'm not doing well. Oh, this book right now has me in a freaking chokehold. I just have to read this one line. Spoiler. Okay, so the two main characters are in the rebel forces basically right now. The prince is captured, and I mean obviously they're both captured, and obviously they don't like the prince. So
he is basically getting tortured to get like stuff from like the like so that people can get stuff out of the king and stuff, and she's like trying not to like let him get shot. This is the part where we like, this is like literally right after they have like basically said that they like each other and like kiss each other and like whatever. I need to read this one freaking line because it just got me so good. I don't know why. This is what I'm gonna read. His lips brush against my cheek. Mind your mental, Tessa. My breath catches and I draw back to look at him. I can't lose you twice. He flinches. Forgive me. The door slams and I jump. Lachlan is back. Earl takes hold of my arm again. I tighten my grip and Cork says, Tessa, please. I can shoot you both, says Lachlan. No, says Carrie. Please, my love, Cork whispers into my ear. Please. He called her love. He's like whispering in her like, please leave. I don't want you getting hurt. And that just crushed everything in my soul. Oh my god. The please love. Oh my god. This book is so good so far. Oh my god. I'm literally... Okay.
This story was so good. I'm gonna give it a 5 stars. It was very surprising. I did not expect it to be 5 stars, but I think honestly the first good part of this was like a good like 4 stars, and I think the ending like maybe like this much at the end just destroyed me, and I was like, okay, this has to be a 5 stars read. So yeah, this is really good, and I really recommend it. It's like a Robin Hood retelling kind of, so I really like it. Let's see what else I read in the month of June. Oh my gosh! I finally read Better Than the Movies, Violin Painter. I have it here on my Kindle, so that's why I'm holding like the book like this. My thoughts and my feelings. I know it's just a very popular book, and I actually did really enjoy it. The only criticisms I have been seeing about this story is like there's nothing that happens, and that the main character is like frustrating, which I wouldn't say I don't agree with the first statement. I kind of agree with the second statement. The first, I don't agree that nothing happens in the story, like there's no plot. It's not really plot motivated. It's more character, obviously relationship driven. Like almost a lot of romance stories, it's not really necessarily about what's going on. It's more about how the characters are supposed to get together, and that's the plot. So if you just don't like romance stories, I mean, this one's a very like cute high school teen romance kind of thing, and if you just don't like that kind of stuff and you like more plot driven stuff, then this might not be for you, but it is very cute. This story is about this girl named Liz, and she loves like rom-coms and music, and she basically lives her life as like a main character would in like every rom-com ever. And she has like the very typical boy next door who's like a pain in her ass. Her lifelong crush moves back to their town, and she is making it her mission to wife him up basically. And so she enlists the help of her nemesis, her next door neighbor, whose name is Wes, and he kind of helps her try to get her lifelong crush. A lot of lies happen. Our main character tends to lie a lot about how she's really feeling. She suppresses a lot of emotions, don't we all? And she tends to lie a lot and hurt a lot of the people in her life. And I felt like that was kind of relatable in some sense. It did like frustrate me a couple times because I was like, girl, just tell the truth. Just like, it's not that big of a deal. Just tell them. That's the only part that I found frustrating. But I thought it was super cute. I actually did really enjoy it. I gave it a 4 star. I thought it was cute, and there's not much else to it. I love the playlist. Like I literally am listening to the playlist on Spotify right now because it's so good and it's just so cute, and I actually really love the rom-com references and the song references. It like felt like you're reading a movie, if that makes sense. It's really cute. I do recommend it if you can get your hands on it because I know it's very popular right now. I don't even know if that was any good. Alright, so I just finished Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. This book has been freaking everywhere. BookTok, BookTube, Instagram. I see it everywhere. and everyone's saying, this is the summer book right now, read this right now. And I said, okay, fine, I'm gonna read it. Still, stop yelling at me. And I read it, and let me tell you, I like it. It's a good book, but it reminds me a lot of another book that I think is better. So that's my opinion. This story is about a girl named Persephone, and one day she gets a call from her ex-boyfriend's brother, and basically he's telling her that his mother has passed away, and she's very devastated by this because she used to be super close to the mom. So she wants to go and attend the funeral, and so she has to go back to her childhood summer cottage. She goes back, and then obviously she meets back up, she reconnects again with her ex-boyfriend. So it has dual timelines of the present and 17 summers ago when they first met. So this is a childhood friends to lovers slash second chance romance kind of story. So many summers ago they had a falling out and they broke up, and now in the present they are kind of reconnecting again. So this story is good. I really enjoyed it. Every Summer After reminds me a lot of People We Meet on Vacation. It's kind of the same tropes. Friends to lovers, has dual timelines between the summers. So it's very similar. And yeah, I did really enjoy it. It was good. I gave it a good 4 stars. There's not much else to it. It was really cute and it was really good and I really liked it. So let's see what else I read. Oh shit. Hey, didn't see you there. I just finished another book. I just finished Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and I have some thoughts. I have some feelings. Dance of Thieves is about this girl named Cassie who is a former thief, and she is part of the Queen's Guard, and the Queen has decided to give her the assignment and her friends, the group, an assignment to go down to this place called Tor's Watch, go and kind of investigate some shady things that are happening over in Tor's Watch. Tor's Watch is run by the family called the Ballingers, and they're kind of like, I've heard people kind of say it's like a mafia group. So she's going down there to investigate not really them, but like other things that are happening in Tor's Watch. She meets the kind of the head leader of the group, which his name is Jace, and they kind of meet because she's all like, obviously she's trying to figure out what the heck's going on in Tor's Watch, and he's trying to be like, nothing's happening, move along, little lady. And then something happens for them to get to know each other, you know what I mean. I've seen a lot of people really enjoy this. I am not one of those people. I enjoyed it, and I'm not saying that I didn't like it. I do like it. However, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I just thought this was an okay story. I felt like the beginning of the story is super slow. It's so slow, and I was like, oh my god. I had to get the audiobook because sometimes like if a book's like really slow, I'll get an audiobook, and that helps me like kind of trudge through the boring parts because I can tune it out or whatever. I feel like there's parts of the story, it's not a fast-paced story, but it feels like it should be a fast-paced story, if that makes sense. It's like it's pretty slow throughout most of the story. There's parts that pick up, obviously there's action that happens, but it's not as much action as I would like it to be, if that makes sense. Like there's high-strung moments that could have been way better, I feel like, and there are action scenes that could have been way better. The romance was okay. It's not my favorite. It's an enemies to lovers. I didn't connect with their relationship that much. It kind of just was, it felt really forced to me, only because there is a part where the characters are trying to get together, and they're like forced to be with each other. Like that part of the book felt so long. Like it shouldn't feel long. It should be like they're pining after each other, they're trying to get over each other's differences, and I feel like that happened to some extent, but it felt so drawn out, that part of the story. It felt so long. And then there's other parts where literally no action is happening whatsoever. They're just like no development was happening, and I was like, what What is going on? I gave this book a 3 stars. Not my favorite. It's, to me, this is just an okay story. I know so many people love this and I'm so sorry. It's still good. I would still read it. It's just kind of slow and it was just kind of okay to me. Meh, mid-tier to me, in my opinion. So yeah. I think this is where I'm going to end the video as well. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.